I don't have to tell you how scared I was when I saw it. Like scared shitless. I didn't believe it was real at first. I thought maybe I was dreaming, but soon after I concluded that I was dealing with a creature that's out of this world. It isn't every day that you meet with intergalactic, demented creatures or demons from hell or whatever other evil places. I just found it on my couch one morning after I woke up. It was the oddest and scariest thing I've ever laid eyes on. When it saw me too, it started howling, raging like crazy, probably demanding food. The game was on, and it was watching it like it was the biggest football fan in the world. Then it started dragging its ass on the carpet, circling around me. The creature didn't attack me or anything. He seemed harmless but still goddamn horrible to look at. It burped and started running through the living room until it went headfirst into the furniture, where it instantly blacked out. I honestly thought it was going to bite or kill me when it'd wake up, and my heart was racing inside my chest, drumming so hard like Tommy Lee was playing a solo in a Motley Crue live concert. I saw a letter on the carpet and I wondered where or whom it was from. And, of course, that's when the trouble started. Let me just write it here verbatim and then I can go on with it. It was written in red ink, the letters were pulsating different shades, and I was pretty sure it had to be supernatural or the likes of that. Luckily, I took a photo before reading it all. You'll see why it was a good idea. Dear Jonathan, hello there. Sorry to send Fluffy out of the blue, but I am really busy at the moment and I need you to take care of him for a few days. These are troubling times down here. I had a few guys who went overboard with drinking and gambling, and they haven't been doing their duty properly. I won't get into detail about how things here work as you're not eligible for a place yet. You're very close though. I don't even want to start telling you what a crazy party we had on Halloween. We had stripping demon hookers, we smoked DMT, drank whiskey that was 1,000 years old, brewed right down here with our special recipe. Good times. I left one bottle in the fridge for you as well. Just be careful with drinking too much or you'll go insane. Kinda burns your throat like really bad, and if you do shots, you'll be able to breathe flames. No, not really. Joking, duh. I like bringing the lols, you know what I'm saying? Seriously though, don't drink too much in a single day. If you have just a single on the rocks, you should be fine. If you actually do get drunk on it and see the dancing devils, just ignore them. They're not real. Or are they? LOL JK. Anyways, the reason I sent Fluffy over is that I have some business to attend here on Earth and I can't leave him alone down there. The last time I did it, he ate my sidekick after he forgot to feed him on time. I can't carry him with me either because, well, I got important stuff to do that require my utmost attention. So, I have chosen you to watch for my dear old Fluffers. Ain't he great? Did he get to run head first into the furniture by now? He does that when he's in a new environment. Speaking of, you have to feed time every Wednesday at 12 p.m. sharp. Not a minute earlier, not a minute later. I can't even highlight the importance of that. Even if he is a demon, he still eats the usual raw stuff. Raw hearts, raw kidneys, raw muscles. You know, everything meaty basically. Also, aside from that, he requires milk daily, just a little. It doesn't matter when you'll give it to him, he will not refuse it. Just make sure it's not too much, otherwise he'll start barking and howling like crazy, and your neighbors will hear him, and you don't want that to happen. No bueno. He does like strawberries from time to time, but I recommend giving those only on Friday mornings and only in moderation, like 2 or 3 of them, because he has a tendency of getting bloated and he'll start shitting all over your house. And you do not want that to happen because his shits are very acidic and will punch holes in the floor. You'll have a shitty floor. Get it? Anywho, I gotta bounce. I'll come to get Fluffy later this month. Do not get physically or verbally violent with him. Toodles. Yours truly, San. P.S. If you're lucky and he likes you, he'll try and communicate with you. So if you ask him a yes or no question, he'll reply with 1 bark. I personally call them barks. For yes, 2 for no. Try it if you get the chance. P.S. If I see that you took good care of him, I'll make sure you get a big fat reward. If no, then, right after I finished reading it, The letters scrambled all by themselves into the face of a devil who smirked and winked at me right before vanishing. What the fuck, right? If you're like me, then you're wondering what the hell was going on. I just experienced 2 supernatural events in less than 5 minutes, and I didn't even think that there was a word in the dictionary to describe how scared I was. The tag on his collar was in the shape of a pink heart with the name Fluffy written on it, so I knew he didn't lie in the letter, but Fluffy? There was a huge discrepancy between the name and the actual way the creature looked like. Anyway, let me tell you a bit about Fluffy. God, I can't even say his name without my heart starting to rise up in my throat when I think I had to monster sit the devil's pet. The small creature was approximately 3 feet tall. It had purple fur all over its body and 2 crimson tusks, one longer than the other. Its eyes were a bright hue of glowing pink, and it had 3 legs and 4 arms. The arms had little claws on them, probably so that it could grab its food better. I still couldn't believe it, but I was sure it was real. I had to do what he said in the letter, and I had to take care of it. I found myself in a situation in which I've never thought I'd be. I decided to call it a hymn, just like Satan wrote in his letter. Maybe that'd have helped. Fluffy was waking up, and I approached him. He was a bit scared. I could sense it, and when I tried to pet him on the head, he hissed at me, and that's when I noticed his dark orange tail that ended in an arrowhead tip. Classic demon stuff, right? I let out a whoa, and I saw his pink eyes and the tail both lit up in flames. The light was flickering while he focused on studying me and my moves. The tail was colored a bright flamey orange that seemed to contrast the dark hue pretty damn well. I wondered how should I call him. Here. Fluffy? Here? Here? Little demon? Add a monster? Fluffy wants some milk, I asked. He started wagging his tail and ran towards my leg. Fortunately, the fire was gone and nothing burned. Does Satan gives you milk in hell? I asked again, and I heard him bark, sorta. It wasn't your traditional dog bark. More like 1,000 barks that echoed in one. You know, like could you imagine a creature of hell doing one? Yeah, that's exactly how it sounded. I took a bowl and put some milk in it, and he started drinking with his 3 tongues, and spikes started coming out from his back. That probably meant he liked it, I thought. I felt physically sick when I heard the sound of them erecting from under the flesh, and I started shivering with a fear that I'd never thought to experience ever in my life. I made his sleeping spot in the kitchen, and I tried to make it as comfortable and cozy as possible. After all, I didn't exactly know how to take care of a demon pet, except for the instructions I was given. Of course, I had to call in sick at work that morning because you know you don't get the chance every day to monster sit Satan's pet. Time passed on, and nothing significant happened on that Tuesday. Oh, luckily I remembered I had to get his food for the next day. There was a butcher's shop nearby, so it was a quick errand to run. I left him sleeping, and I wished that nothing bad would happen. I mean, Satan would have him trained by now, right? I bought like 20 pounds of chicken hearts, beef steaks, sirloins, and pork chops, and I put them in the freezer to make his lunch the next day. Then I heard my neighbor Gary blasting that stupid black metal shit and screaming vocals over the original song like a goddamn lunatic. Hey, fucking asshole. Mind turning that down? I'm trying to rest. I angrily yelled. Up yours, you pussy. This is real fucking music. Not that pop shit you listen to, his wife Karen replied. Hey, fuck you both. You demented scumbags. I'm going to call the cops if you don't turn that shit down. You hear me? I said, blood starting to boil inside my veins. 5 minutes later, the music stopped. Fucking Gary and Karen, what a lovely couple. I saw Fluffy standing behind me growling. Sorry, little guy. I shouldn't have yelled. It's that they piss me off sometimes with that stupid musical vomit. I told him, but he didn't stop growling. I moved past him, but he was still standing there, motionless, just growling in their direction. I assured him it's all right and told him to come with me, so I can give him some milk. He happily obliged. Night came and I took Fluffy to bed. Even though he seemed to listen to every word I said, there was still some sort of darkness in the way he looked at me. They say that the eyes are windows to the soul, so maybe that's exactly what he was doing. Trying to read my soul and see if I was fit to take care of him or not. Listen here, Fluffy. Your owner gave me strict rules and told me to be really careful about taking care of you. Okay? So please, don't start throwing tantrums in the middle of the night or become too curious about the neighborhood. Okay, I told him, hoping that maybe he could understand. Still, I was trembling with fear. Then I remembered what Satan said at the end of the letter. 1 bark for yes, 2 for no. Do you understand? I asked him again and I heard him bark once. We were starting to get along pretty good and I went to bed for the night. Lights out. Someone knocked on the front door. I got out of bed to see who could have been at that late hour in the night. Half asleep, I opened the door to see Gary, enraged with madness. Drunk as a skunk and high as a kite, holding a knife in his hand. You disrespected my woman. You piece of shit. No one talks to her like that, he said, his hands shaking. Listen, man. I'm sorry, all right? I shouldn't have said those things. I told him, hoping in resolving the conflict peacefully. Of course, that wasn't the case. You can't reason with madmen. His right fist connected with my face and I was sent on the floor. Start filling my vision. My upper lip split and I felt blood entering my mouth. The salty and coppery taste was something I haven't felt since I was in a school fight as a kid. I tried to punch back, but I couldn't match his enormous size and strength. He put the knife to my throat and asked me if I want to die. I shook my head as tears starting to form in my eyes. He was pressing the tip of the blade against my neck. I thought that the end would soon follow and I'd die at the hands of a drunken crack addict. He pocketed the knife and spat at my face, telling me that if I ever even look at them, I'd be dead. He ended by saying that if I'd call the cops, he'll kill me. Even if he were to be arrested, he'd hire a guy to kill me. Or worse, just cripple me. Make it look like an accident. I looked in the corner where the kitchen was and saw Fluffy standing there, just watching. I shook my head at him not make a move. Then I pissed myself with fear, the warm liquid staining my pajama pants. Gary punched me one more time in the ribs and I coughed blood on the floor. You're fucking disgusting, you stupid fuck, he said, right before leaving, slamming the door on his way out. I didn't want to call the cops straight away because fear overtook all my other senses and the guy was bats hit crazy. I mean, he could have come back any second and I never trusted a person as erratic as him. Besides, I had to deal with more important things than my split lip and pissed pants. I raised myself, patched my lip, and went to take a shower. I was in and out of sleep for a few hours when suddenly I jolted awake when I heard the front door slamming shut. Someone was trying to rob me. I had to deal with a demon, a murderous neighbor, and now a burglar. Or maybe it was Gary who changed his mind and wanted to finish me off for good. Shit. 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 S-H-I-T. I thought. I didn't have anything to defend myself with, so I just took a pencil from my desk so I could stab the motherfucker in the eye if push came to shove. I checked the living room. Nothing. I looked around. Nothing. I went to the kitchen and turned on the lights. Fluffy was standing there with a human arm in his mouth while his tusks were dripping blood. I recognized Gary's tattoos on it before I stumbled and fell down on the floor. Fluffy was different. He was bigger in size and now there were spikes all over him and they dripped with blood too. He started wagging his tail and dropped the arm at my feet, barking at me to take it. Then he pushed it again with his tusks towards me. Oh no, Fluffy! What the hell did you do? I yelled. Big mistake because his eyes and tail lit up again. Sorry for yelling. Didn't mean to, it's just, I'm scared and you shouldn't have done that, I said. Then I saw Gary's head watching me from the corner of the room, his lifeless dull eyes frozen with fear. I shrieked and fell on the floor again. Then from across the street, I heard Karen letting out a huge scream, one that woke up the whole neighborhood. I understood why Fluffy did it. He wanted to protect me from the bad neighbor, but he left me with a bad situation on my hands, so I had to think fast. Fluffy, is the rest of the body here in my house? I asked. He barked twice. Did you leave it in their house? I said while pointed to Gary and Karen's house. Woof. Well, at least we got that figured out. I was afraid he would have eaten parts of him and get me in double trouble. He wasn't allowed to eat anything except on Wednesday, remember? I told him to stay put. I got some trash bags for Gary's head and arm and then stuffed them inside the freezer with the rest of his food. Figured, I don't know, maybe he'd eat them in a few hours. I then wiped the floor clean with bleach and made sure there wasn't any more blood in the house. Fluffy went to sleep like nothing happened. What a shit show. Then I heard the police sirens, and as I watched through the window, I saw them pull up in front of my neighbor's house. I didn't even notice it was morning. I just stood on the side of my bed petrified, all kinds of scenarios going through my head. Jail for the rest of my life, death row, things like that. 11:30 in the morning. Time passed so fast while I stood there like a statue, still and unable to move, frozen with fear. I heard a knock on the front door. 2 police officers came to ask me questions. They wanted to see if I know anything about Gary's killing. As soon as I started talking, Fluffy started barking. Hey Fluffy, keep it down please. I'm trying to talk with these officers about the tragic accident that happened last night. Do you understand? He barked once. I'm trying to save both our asses here, I thought. His wife told us that you got in a fight yesterday, Mr. Turner. She said that you were pretty aggressive towards them. Mind telling us why? One of them asked. I looked at Agents Suck and Fuckover standing on my porch and wished that Fluffy would come and rip their heads off. I wasn't aggressive, officers. It's just sometimes they took that black metal music too seriously and forget that other people are living in the neighborhood. It was very loud and I was trying to get some rest. I told them, whimpering. More questions followed, and when I checked the clock, it said 11:51. If that's all, officers? I said, trying to make them leave so I can feed the dog. Got somewhere to be, sport? Agent Suck asked me patronizingly. I shook my head and said that I just needed to feed my dog. He's very hungry. Come on, Gary, leave the man be. We'll be in touch, Mr. Turner. Thank you for your cooperation, Agent Fuck said. His name was Gary. I felt like I was in some sort of bad cosmic joke. What happened to your lip? Officer Suck or Gary asked me. You got your ass handed to you or something? I said that my dog accidentally scratched me while I was training him. It was no big deal. Then they both said goodbye and I was getting really nervous and stressed because I didn't want to miss Fluffy's lunchtime. 11:54. I ran to the fridge and I took the frozen meat and quickly placed them in the microwave, hit defrost for 3.5 minutes and fed Fluffy. The spikes came out again from his spine and I asked them if he liked the food and he barked once and kept eating. Then I heard another knock. It was Officer Gary again, this time alone. His voice tone was a little bit changed. I know you killed him, Jonathan. I know you have his head and arm in the fridge, he said. No, fucking no. This wasn't happening. He pointed his gun at me. On the ground with your hands behind your back. You're under arrest, he said while I followed his instructions. I was basically fucked. I'd go to prison first. Then Satan would come after me for not taking care of his pet. Then Officer Gary started laughing. Oh man, you should see the look on your face right now. Get the hell up, man. I was just messing with you. I told you I like to bring the lols, he said, crying with laughter. Where's my Fluffy? Then the little creature came running from the kitchen and jumped on Officer Satan. Ugh. Thank you for taking care of me for him. My business here finished earlier than anticipated, and I am truly grateful for your absolute dedication towards the little fella here, Satan said. Mind if I take all the meats from your fridge? Including the. I nodded. Jonathan, I told you that you'll get a reward for being nice to my fluffers, didn't I? He asked me. I nodded, and he told me that my mortgage has been paid off in its entirety. I'll be seeing you around, Johnny boy. I like you, you could work for me. Think about it, will you? He said. Come on, Fluffy. To the Batmobile, he finished. They hoped on in the car and started driving into the distance. Well, my piece of shit neighbor died. That meant no shitty black metal music unless Karen decided to go solo on the vocals. Maybe I'll get Fluffy again and teach her a lesson too if I get the chance. At least I'm debt-free, so I got that going for me, which is nice.